The biggest addiction in America is attention. We are addicted to attention. Easiest way to get attention is to be a victim. They're so racist, they're so racist. Some of the she went through was not racism. It was just some in-law Cause she's complaining, I'm like, what the is she talking about? No, they're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, that's not racist, because even black people want to know.
And this is sweet. Meghan Markle said she has a finger they can use if they need.
It started off looking like a regular comedy special. The lights dropped, the cameras locked in, and the crowd was already waiting for viral moments before the first joke even landed. Then Chris Rock stepped onto the stage, and the whole vibe shifted almost instantly. At first, people expected the usual celebrity jokes and quick punchlines, but within minutes, the room felt completely different. The energy turned sharper, louder, and way more intense than anyone expected. Suddenly, Meghan Markle became the center of the conversation, and everybody in the audience could feel it. There was no slow build-up and no careful transition into the topic. Rock jumped straight into it with confidence, tossing out jokes that caught people off guard right away. The crowd laughed hard, but you could also sense people looking around thinking, did he really just say that?
Holy shit. He said what?
Everybody trying to be a victim. Like, what's this girl, Meghan Markle? Seemed like a nice lady, just complaining. I was like, didn't she hit the light-skin lottery?
That reaction made the whole moment hit even harder. For years, Meghan's public image had been tied to the idea of someone entering a world filled with pressure, attention, and non-stop scrutiny. A lot of interviews and media coverage painted that picture very clearly. But Rock took a completely different angle during his routine, and that's what got everybody talking online afterward. Instead of treating the topic carefully, he flipped it into a comedy setup that questioned how believable parts of that public narrative really sounded. One comparison especially sent the crowd into chaos. He joked that acting surprised by royal culture was like a basketball player claiming they had never heard of the NBA before making it to the league.
And still going on complaining, acting all dumb like she don't know nothing. Going on Oprah, I didn't know. I had no idea how racist they were. It's the royal family. You didn't Google these motherfuckers?
The reason that line exploded online wasn't because it was complicated. It was actually the opposite. It was simple, direct, and easy for people to repeat everywhere. Social media grabbed onto it immediately because the joke reframed the entire discussion in a way people could understand fast. Within hours, clips were spreading all over the internet. And honestly, one of the wildest parts wasn't even the laughter. It was those few awkward seconds afterward when the audience suddenly got quiet. You could feel people processing what they had just heard in real time.
Posting up pathetic pictures. This is me eating sushi. Like me. This is me 25 years ago when I was hot. Like me. Oh, it's fucking sad.
That silence almost hit harder than the joke itself because the room went from comedy show to full-on debate instantly. The routine didn't rely on giant speeches or dramatic lectures either. Rock kept it moving with quick shots and sharp comparisons, which made everything feel even more effective. That style made the audience stay locked in because every joke sounded casual on the surface, while still pushing people to rethink old headlines and interviews. A lot of online critics had already been discussing similar opinions for years, but comedy has a different kind of impact. When a joke lands in front of millions of viewers at once, the conversation suddenly gets bigger overnight. That's exactly what happened here. People weren't just laughing. They were reposting clips, reacting in comment sections, and debating everything across social media. Commentary channels started uploading reactions almost immediately. Memes flooded timelines within hours. Some viewers agreed with Rock completely, while others thought he went too far. Either way, people could not stop talking about it. The internet turned one comedy segment into a full-blown trending discussion before the night was even over. And the craziest part?
What the f is she talking about? She didn't know. It's the royal family. They're the original racists.
Meghan wasn't even there to answer back or respond in the moment, but by then, the crowd had already emotionally reacted to the routine, and online audiences were running with the clips at full speed. What started as a comedy special suddenly felt like one of those pop culture moments everybody knew would dominate headlines and timelines for days. After that comedy special aired, the online conversation around Meghan Markle noticeably shifted. The tone suddenly felt more skeptical, more critical, and way less forgiving than before. From a public image standpoint, that's where things really started getting messy. A major celebrity joke doesn't just trend for one night and disappear into the background.
that she was hunting for a man in England. She wanted wealth and she wanted fame, and she targeted Harry.
The best punchlines stick in people's minds for weeks, sometimes even years. They reshape how audiences watch future interviews, how social media reacts to headlines, and how critics frame every new appearance afterward. That's exactly what happened after Chris Rock delivered those jokes on stage. Within hours, the internet was moving at full speed. Clips from the special started spreading everywhere almost instantly, and people online couldn't stop reacting to them.
The f is she talking about? I didn't know. That's like marrying into the Budweiser family and going, they drink a lot.
TikTok feeds filled up with reaction videos, replay edits, audience clips, and dramatic commentary. Users kept reposting the same few moments because the crowd reactions made everything feel even bigger. Over on YouTube, creators rushed to upload breakdown videos with over-the-top thumbnails and titles, making the whole thing sound like a giant celebrity shakeup unfolding in real time.
My name is Megan Sussex now. Call me Meghan Markle one more time, Mindy Kaling.
Then the comedy scene joined the conversation too, especially in the UK. Comedians started adding their own takes, and the humor became more sarcastic and more pointed. A lot of the jokes focused on the contrast between public statements about wanting a quieter life, while still staying highly visible through interviews, projects, and media appearances. The audiences already understood the references, which made the punchlines land even faster. British comics especially leaned into that dry style of humor where they barely raise their voices, but the crowd still erupts because everybody catches the meaning immediately. In the United States, late-night hosts quickly picked up the same energy. One after another, they started joking about interviews, documentaries, podcasts, and public messaging connected to the couple.
The Duchess of Sussex shared a photo of herself cuddling her daughter on Instagram and a never-before-seen picture from her bird.
The phrase about wanting privacy became one of the internet's favorite running jokes because people kept pairing it with clips of public appearances and media projects. Every host had their own version of the joke, but the overall vibe online started feeling very similar. More viewers were questioning whether the public image matched the actions being shown in headlines and interviews. That shift became a huge talking point across entertainment media. What made the situation even bigger was the fact that the jokes stopped feeling isolated. Different comedians in different countries were suddenly making similar observations without planning it together. That usually signals a major change in public perception because it means audiences are already thinking along the same lines before the joke even starts. By the end of the week, Meghan's online image looked completely different from what it had looked like earlier.
Who's filming this?
Instead of discussions mostly focusing on royal life or celebrity interviews, the internet had turned her into one of the biggest recurring topics in entertainment commentary. Old interviews, public moments, and past quotes all started resurfacing again. Commentary pages and meme accounts pulled clips from years ago and re-edited them into short viral posts designed to spark reactions fast. Some edits were playful, while others were clearly more sarcastic and dramatic. TikTok especially went wild with the trend. Creators added sitcom sound effects, exaggerated edits, and reaction cuts to old interview footage. Even simple moments from appearances or speeches were suddenly being turned into viral memes, with captions making everything look extra polished or overly dramatic.
Megan, you have been working so hard. Oh my God. You're probably the hardest worker in the world. I don't know anybody that's worked as hard as you. I don't know, I'm just doing my best.
Some of those videos exploded to millions of views in just hours because people kept sharing them nonstop. Meanwhile, users across social platforms started lining up screenshots, headlines, interview quotes, and public appearances side by side, debating whether certain messages felt consistent over time. The internet basically transformed one comedy moment into an ongoing entertainment story that refused to slow down. The captions alone were pulling massive numbers online. People didn't even need long explanations anymore because the internet had already locked in the joke, and now everyone just wanted to jump in and add their own spin to it. Across social platforms, it felt like one big shared reaction moment that kept multiplying every hour. On YouTube, commentary creators went deep into analysis mode. Every facial expression, every pause, every interview clip was being slowed down, zoomed in, and broken apart frame by frame like it was some kind of ongoing reality show mystery.
Best way to have a snack is to take the snack out of one bag and then move them into another bag and then label this new bag, even though this bag already has a label on it. Tap water!
The level of detail people were analyzing made the whole situation feel way bigger than just entertainment. At that point, Meghan Markle was no longer being discussed as a traditional public figure in a serious sense online. Instead, she was being treated more like a recurring internet character that people constantly debated, remixed, and reacted to every single day. And once that shift happens online, it becomes extremely hard to reverse. The biggest issue with internet culture is how fast momentum builds. Once memes fully take over a topic, slowing that wave down is almost impossible. Before any official response or media strategy could even gain traction, new viral edits were already spreading everywhere, pushing the previous ones out of view almost instantly. At that point, late-night television didn't even need complex setups anymore to get laughs. The audience already recognized the reference the moment it appeared on screen. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry had effectively become instant pop culture shorthand that audiences reacted to right away. On shows like Saturday Night Live, the portrayal leaned heavily into exaggerated comedy. Instead of being framed as bold outsiders, the sketches depicted them as celebrities struggling to manage fame while staying in control of their public image.
I said H was accepted. H has been, and H called me with H, and H was out, and with H.
NBC has announced plans for a spin-off to the hit series Suits, which will be set in Los Angeles. It will focus on Meghan Markle's character's struggle to balance her legal career while also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
Harry was played as confused and off balance, while Meghan was shown as highly polished and focused on shaping the narrative around them. Even though everything was exaggerated for humor, what made the audience react so strongly was how familiar some of the themes already felt from online discussions. That overlap between comedy and public perception is exactly what made the jokes land so hard. Other late-night hosts quickly followed the same direction. Jimmy Fallon leaned into smaller, everyday details that audiences had already been talking about online. Things like emotional storytelling in interviews, personal revelations shared publicly, and the way ordinary moments were turned into headline discussions all became easy targets for jokes. Those references worked so well because viewers didn't need any explanation. They already knew the clips, the interviews, and the context, so the jokes landed instantly. Later, Stephen Colbert joined in too, adding his own commentary that had audiences laughing while also reacting with that "this actually sounds familiar" feeling.
Another big revelation was that Meghan said that she and Harry actually got married 3 days before the royal wedding. Great, now I feel like a fool for waking up at 5 a.m. to watch two married people get married.
At a certain point, the repetition across different shows started to matter more than any single joke. When multiple hosts keep hitting the same themes night after night, comedy stops being just entertainment and starts shaping how people interpret public figures overall. The same ideas kept resurfacing again and again. Media deals, interviews, emotional storytelling, luxury lifestyle, and constant attention from headlines. Because of that repetition, audiences started to anticipate the punchlines before they even arrived on screen. Within a short time, Meghan became a consistent late-night reference point.
Meghan Markle has finally revealed why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H. What could it be? A mystery for the ages.
Not just a trending topic, but a regular fixture in comedy monologues across multiple platforms. Every show had its own version. Every host had their angle, and every audience already knew the direction the jokes would take. Outside of television, stand-up comedians pushed the tone even further since they weren't limited by broadcast rules. That made their material sharper, more direct, and even more intense in how they interpreted the same ongoing public conversation. Club comics went straight into harsher territory, especially when talking about the Netflix documentary and Prince Harry's memoir. Comedian Simon Brodkin mocked the documentary like it was one long, emotional advertisement built to make viewers feel sympathy, joking about the dramatic music, slow cinematic shots, and overly serious storytelling style.
Prove that you're enough. You have to prove that you're pretty enough. You have to prove that you're smart enough. You prove that you're a good wife or a good friend. Or
Meghan Markle's sitting here talking about, like, yeah, I gotta prove that I'm pretty. While she's a pretty woman sitting across from a bratwurst? Yes!
Other comedians focused on moments audiences were already debating online, like royal traditions and awkward cultural misunderstandings. They framed those situations as overly intense reactions to things many viewers saw as normal within that environment. Harry's memoir especially became easy material because comics kept pulling out deeply personal stories and turning them into jokes about fame, privilege, and life inside a very isolated world. But even with all that, Meghan Markle stayed the main focus of the comedy wave. Her carefully structured interviews and polished public speeches became frequent targets, with comedians describing them as overly rehearsed or too carefully controlled in tone. Inside comedy clubs, the reactions hit differently. There's no polished TV filter, so the laughs come fast, loud, and sometimes brutally honest. And with social media in the mix, even short one-liners from small venues could suddenly spread online overnight, reaching millions in just hours. Then South Park changed the conversation again. The Privacy Tour episode exploded online because it compressed years of public discussion into one sharp animated parody.
Sorority girl, actress, influencer, victim. Yeah, that's totally me. What matters is what we have on the inside.
The cartoon versions of Meghan and Harry demanded privacy while constantly appearing in public, promoting projects, and traveling everywhere with cameras following them. The visual joke was so clear that viewers understood it instantly without needing much dialogue. Within hours, clips and screenshots from the episode were everywhere online. What made it hit so hard was its simplicity. It took long-running public debates and turned them into fast, exaggerated satire that people kept replaying and sharing nonstop. Very quickly, phrases and visuals from the episode started becoming part of internet culture itself. Even Family Guy added quick jokes implying the couple became famous for constantly talking about themselves while signing major entertainment deals.
Meghan Markle, the only thing she found was a rich, famous husband.
The nearest thing Meghan Markle ever had to a billion-dollar idea was marrying a prince.
The joke only lasted a few seconds, but online audiences clipped it instantly because the setup was already widely understood. Animated satire hits differently because once a cartoon turns someone into a repeating joke, that version tends to stick in pop culture for a long time. Once a public figure becomes a recurring parody, that image often becomes stronger in people's minds than the real person. And that's exactly what started happening here after months of comedy sketches, viral edits, and animated satire. The issue wasn't just people laughing anymore, it turned into something bigger over time. The jokes started shaping how millions of viewers interpreted every new appearance or headline connected to them.
You're complaining about your hard life, and you're so privileged. It's just so weird.
It's ridiculous. Today, Suits actress Meghan Markle married some unemployed dude who still lives with his grandma.
That's the real risk of becoming a caricature online. People stop separating the real person from the exaggerated version they've seen repeated again and again. Once that happens, every future interview, speech, or public appearance gets filtered through that comedic image automatically. By the time South Park finished its well-known parody episode, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were no longer just celebrity gossip topics. They had become symbols people instantly recognized and linked to certain public criticisms. And the hardest part for any public figure is this: animated parodies don't really fade away. Screenshots keep circulating, memes keep getting reshared, and clips resurface every time a new headline appears. Over time, the parody becomes part of a celebrity's permanent online identity, whether they want it or not. Then Bill Maher entered the conversation, and his tone felt completely different from the rest. He didn't rely on big punchlines or exaggerated sketches. Instead, he used sharp commentary and blunt observations that made audiences think before laughing. One of his key remarks questioned the idea of addressing another person with titles like "Your Highness" in modern public life. Unlike other comedians who focused on viral clips or awkward interviews, Maher looked at the broader picture behind Meghan and Harry's public presence. He questioned the balance between asking for privacy while continuing to take part in media projects and public appearances. He also pointed out the tension between stepping away from royal life while still staying closely connected to royal branding and public attention. What made his commentary stand out was the calm delivery. He framed it less like a scandal and more like a communication issue that kept creating confusion for audiences watching from the outside.
The woman who destroyed her in-laws' family, whose own family doesn't like her, whose the in-laws obviously don't like her, the public doesn't like her, she's stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real princess.
According to Maher, the problem wasn't just one interview or one documentary, but a pattern of mixed messages that left people unsure how to interpret the story. Then came the comparison that spread quickly online afterward. Maher drew a contrast between Meghan and Harry's public statements and the quiet, reserved public image of Queen Elizabeth II. He pointed out how the late Queen spent decades under global attention and media pressure while rarely responding publicly to criticism. That comparison immediately sparked strong reactions online because it showed two very different approaches to public life side by side. One side was seen as calm, traditional, and disciplined. The other appeared more emotionally open, media-heavy, and constantly engaged in public explanation. Whether people agreed or disagreed, the comparison quickly became a major talking point everywhere. But Maher's most talked about line wasn't even a joke. It was his suggestion that audiences don't automatically owe constant sympathy to celebrity conflict just because it is presented in an emotional way.
Look at that face, she's not happy.
Oh, yeah, it's so hard to be pretty. So your life is so hard, you're a fucking princess.
That moment hit differently because the audience didn't react with loud laughter at first. Instead, there was a noticeable wave of quiet reactions, nodding, and uneasy agreement spreading through the room. By that point, Meghan's online image had shifted dramatically compared to where it began years earlier. What started as discussions about royal life had evolved into non-stop memes, commentary videos, late-night segments, reaction threads, and viral punchlines across every platform. The jokes ended up outlasting the original headlines themselves, and that's what makes comedy so powerful in celebrity culture. News stories fade, interviews get forgotten, and statements disappear. But once a public figure becomes shorthand in comedy for a certain image, escaping that version becomes extremely difficult. Every future appearance gets judged through that lens automatically. Even when Meghan Markle and Prince Harry shifted attention toward charity work, interviews, or new public projects, online audiences still tied everything back to the jokes that had dominated social media for months. Fair or unfair, that comedic image had already taken over public perception in a major way. And rebuilding from that kind of cultural branding is one of the hardest challenges any public figure can face. Modern comedians had already delivered their version of the story, and by that point, the issue wasn't just headlines anymore. The bigger problem was that the jokes had fully taken over public conversation. Once public opinion shifts through comedy and viral internet culture, reversing it becomes extremely difficult. News cycles fade, but punchlines stay alive because people keep repeating them long after the original story is gone. That's what pushed this situation far beyond one special or one celebrity roast. Chris Rock may have sparked the moment, but the internet, late-night television, meme culture, and non-stop commentary channels turned it into something much larger. Every contradiction, every emotional interview, and every attempt to reshape public image quickly became fresh material for online critics. Fair or unfair, audiences started viewing everything through a more skeptical lens. But the fallout didn't stop at jokes or viral clips. According to many online commentators, the bigger issue became growing tension around public relationships and connections that once gave Meghan Markle and Prince Harry strong backing in elite circles.
Oh my God, that hat. Oh God, he's so hot. Look at him. Isn't Prince Harry? She bagged a fox.
The criticism wasn't limited to social media anymore. It started spreading into entertainment spaces, celebrity commentary, and mainstream discussions, making the situation feel even more intense. Behind the scenes, reports and speculation about frustration connected to the ongoing media storm only added more pressure to the situation. At this stage, the conversation had clearly moved beyond comedy alone. What began as celebrity satire had turned into a full-scale public image crisis, with every new headline adding even more attention to the unfolding drama. Got something to say about this? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get into it. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Tap that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it.